New videos every day.
My friend Mike, he tells me that there's a lot of articles every month regarding psychiatrists and sexual abuse of their patients. And I went, yeah, right. Come on. I didn't really believe it. So he's like, Google it, look it up on the internet. So I did, and I Googled it, and this is what I found. And this is just in the past 15 days. It's a lot of articles. As a woman, I actually found it shocking as well as offensive. For example, one of these was a woman, she went to a psychiatrist to treat depression. And she went in there, first consultation, and instead of asking about her life or what's going on, he asked her to remove her shirt and actually did a breast exam. And depression has nothing to do with our tits. Sorry, it doesn't. And actually, after she came forward and she presented, the facts to the police, 7 other women came forward to the police, some of them anonymous, some not, and said that he did the same thing with them. So, just to let you all know, if you're a woman and you're going to go see somebody for help, psychiatrist specifically, it's not normal to get a breast exam. It doesn't have to do with depression at all. That's up here. This is about 20 articles that I found after being on Google for 15 minutes or so. So I just want to go over some of these headlines with you. Psychiatrist faces more sexual assault charges. Psychiatrist accused of fondling patients. Psychiatrist accused of molesting women. Not a shocker. Psychiatrist 79 charged with raping patient. Psychologist had sex with underage patient. Oh, this is interesting. Psychiatric nurse had insane killer home for sex. Okay. Retired child psychiatrist facing molest charges. Doctor's molestation trial set for March. Psychiatrist faces more sexual assault charges. So this is what I found in about 20 minutes of being on Google. I am absolutely sure there's more than just this. This wasn't even with a lot of research on Google, and it just surprised me. I mean, Mike was right, by the way. This amount in 15-20 minutes. Can you imagine what you can find after about half an hour? Maybe looking into some, legal reports. I actually want to go over some of these articles, some of the more crazy ones. They kind of interest me, so they are going to be a little bit weird. This one, psychiatrist molestation trial set for March. And this psychiatrist, or former psychiatrist, William Ayers, he was a prominent child psychiatrist, and he was accused of molesting dozens of pre-adolescent boys, right? Little kids. And the thing that's crazy about this is while he was the president of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, which is considered a big authority in the U.S. For psychiatry for children, right, and adolescents, while he was the president of this organization, he was molesting pre-adolescent boys. Here's an article that I found before we get to the really weird stuff, right? A psychiatrist with a felony loses license, and he actually got that felony for a drug conviction as he was selling a date rape drug to an undercover cop. Okay. This guy, right, after 8 to 10 years of school, he has a medical degree, is selling a date rape drug to a cop, an undercover cop, right? What's wrong with that picture? Here's another one that's pretty interesting to me. Another one of those crazy ones. This article was published October 11th in the Morning News, and this child psychiatrist fell in love with his patient's mommy, and he asked her out on a date, or whatever, and she just basically told him that she wasn't interested. And he, in turn, went to their house, shot the fiancé in the chest, shot at the son, his patient, and attempted to kidnap the mother, right? The mommy, the patient's mommy, right before shooting himself in the head. So, hell hath no fury like a psychiatrist scorned. Here's the next one that I was reading. Pretty interesting, actually. Police. Psychologist had sex with underage patient, right? And this is a psychologist. Her name is Jennifer Hastings, so it's a little bit different. It's a psychologist. She was 32 years old, and she's being accused of having sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old boy under her care. And the boy told police they'd had sexual contact on several occasions in different places, including the car, her home, Sand Lake, and area motels. So, first of all, it's his psychologist, right? This is a 14-year-old boy being sexually assaulted by a 32-year-old. And the question I actually have is, where was his parents? I mean, it says the car, her home, and area motels. Here's another one that's pretty interesting. Sleep technician on trial for sex crimes. And this is basically where a technician who works at a sleep lab, you probably heard of them. It's a lab you go when you're having trouble sleeping, and they will monitor your progress, right? And Armour Solo, 32-year-old male, is being charged with 1 felony count of sexual battery on an unconscious person, right? And several other misdemeanor counts. And the point I wanted to bring up is this patient was 46 years old, also male, and he's saying basically that the technician who was conducting his overnight test came into his room and masturbated him 4 times, telling him it was part of the examination. Okay. First off, if that ever happens to you, you're being masturbated by a technician, it's not part of the examination. And, I mean, I don't know how I would feel. I'm at a sleep lab, and, I wake up or whatever, and there's another girl, and she's trying to masturbate me. It definitely has nothing to do with treatment or diagnosis of any issues or problems. Here's an article I found that's crazy. The psychiatric nurse had an insane killer home for sex, right? So you have this nurse, she works in a psychiatric ward, and you're talking about the most secure facility, highly guarded ward that there possibly can be. And it's there for the criminally insane. And she is basically being charged for having sexual relations with a patient who was actually convicted of murder. And what happened was they would, first it was kissing, cuddling, whatever, on the grounds themselves, right, in a secure facility. And then later, she would go pick him up on his 1-day-a-month leave, where he can go do whatever he wanted, and they would go to a house and have sex. And after that, on several occasions, she would go pick him up, and they would go to public restrooms, just sleazy motels or restaurants, whatever's nearby, and just have sex. This is about 20 reports, right? 20 articles that I found on Google. And I guess Mike was right. There's a disproportionate amount of articles regarding psychiatry and sexual assaults, or basically sexual problems, right? And you're probably going to find, some articles on the internet regarding doctors or dentists, sexual assault or molestation. And the point I want to bring up is there's a very large amount of articles regarding sexual assault and molestation for psychiatry. I mean, look at this, right? It's about 20, and that was just in the past month. I don't know why this is. It seems like there's a lot of psychiatric perverts out there, and I don't know why it is. So what do you think?